Hello and welcome to another weekly lesson. I am Julia Gentry, the author of Dream I Dare You, and what a lot of people call their growth coach. And this week we are going to be talking about a lesson in dreaming. Because why talk about anything else? And if you follow me in any way, you know that this is my jam. Like, this is why I do what I do, is helping people get clear and unstuck about the dreams that are on the inside of them, because believe it or not, the world needs your dreams. You need your dreams. So no better time than the present to talk about the thing that really we should be talking about every week, but details. So we're going to talk about dreaming this week. And if you have followed these last couple of weeks, we've almost been kind of stacking these topics really to lead to this most climactic lesson, right? Like, we talked about fear and how to overcome our fear with greater levels of faith. And then we talked about faith and how the way that you build faith is by learning how to be still and how to get quiet, right? And then we talked about, once you're quiet, what is the point? And the point is to manifest, right? To start paying attention on your dreams. So last week we talked about the power of manifesting, which really could be summarized in just where are you paying attention. And for most of us, when we're honest, we're paying attention to the fear. We're paying attention to our worry and our doubt. We're paying attention to social media and what the news is saying and what our past says and even what our current reality says. But if you remember, we talked about that whatever you pay attention to will have your life. And so we were reminded to pay attention to the thing that you want to create in this life, that you want to manifest in this life. And so after last week, I had a couple of people reach out and say, okay, but where am I putting my attention? Like, where do I put my focus? If I'm not focused on the fear, the worry, or the doubt, or all the things around me, where am I supposed to be putting my attention? I'm so glad you asked. You're putting your attention on, I don't know, your dreams. You know, the thing that God's put on the inside of you that's only on the inside of you? That. You know, the thing that you think about when you fall asleep and it's the first thing you think about when you wake up? That. You know, the thing that you've been avoiding and maybe running from, I don't know, like your whole life, because it never felt like there was going to be enough time, or heaven forbid someone judge it, or you know, you didn't have enough money or resources or something, but you just can't shake it. That is what we're here to talk about today, is the dream, the thing that's on the inside of you that the world is waiting for. And most importantly, it's what you're waiting for, right? So we're talking about that today. This is what should have your attention. This is where your focus should go, is on your dreams. Now, when I started to write my book about 3 years ago, I reached out to a lot of people and I asked them, what is it that stops you from living your dream, right? Like, if it's in theory, the thing that we're here to do while we're on this planet, what is the reason that you're not living your dreams? Okay, and I had a lot of variety of responses, like, well, this just seems kind of like a pie in the sky way to live. I had other people tell me, well, that's just not responsible. Like, I have things that I need to do. I have to pay bills. I've got to go to work. Like, I just don't have time to dream. I had other people say, yeah, I dream when I sleep. Yeah. I had other people who say, well, you know, Julia, like, get real. Or I had a dream once and then now I don't know what to do and I'm getting a little bit bored. And so we had a reason after reason, excuse after excuse of all the things. And the reality was that all of these excuses and reasons became where people were putting their attention or focus, and wherever you put your attention expands, right? So that got me thinking and digging a little bit more. And it was in a run-in with a lady in a public restroom. That was my tipping point to write the book. And so I'm walking into this bathroom and this elderly lady is walking out and she runs right into me. So I figured it was only fair to say, hi, how are you? And she doesn't turn around, doesn't even really acknowledge that I asked the question, but she did say in a very sarcastic manner, oh, living the dream. And I was like, this lady is at an age that she should be living her dream, right? Like, be old enough to retire to then start living, you know, kind of that old age mindset. And so I said to her, because I had nothing to lose, ma'am, can I ask you a question? Why aren't you living your dreams? She does not look at me. She does not make eye contact. She continues to even walk away. And she says one word that changed it all for me. She said, life. Life stops her from living her dreams. And in that moment, my greatest burning question was, okay, if life stops you from living your dreams, then what is the point of life? And I'll ask you that same question. If life, or fill in the blank, stops you from living your dreams, then what is the point of life? Because the reality is that it's not really that life is getting in the way of you living your dreams. It's that your dreams aren't bigger than this life to be living for, which is why we're not motivated and depressed and depleted, and the functionality of our day-to-day lives just isn't what it could be, is because we are focused on the wrong things. And so today we are going to shift your focus from what's going on around you or your past or the fear, the worry, the doubt, and we're going to put your attention on exactly where it needs to be, which is on the dream, the thing that you were created to bring to this world. Okay? So let's consider what I mean by this. And I'm going to show you a really good example of this. And I write about this in the book, but it is also something that you can Google to learn more. And this is found in Maslow's Hierarchy. Okay. And Maslow's Hierarchy was charted back in the early 40s by a gentleman by the name of Maslow, who identified almost this ladder of human needs. Okay. And he was able to kind of help us understand that once a certain amount of needs are met, then we're able to kind of graduate to the next level of needs, right? But for most of us, where we want to start is that the point of life is to dream and to see those dreams manifested, okay? Now, Maslow would call that self-actualization, okay? I call those dreams realized, okay? Because as we learned last week, that's what this is about. Is manifestation is about the actualization. It's about the realization of potential. It's about bringing about, okay? And so what Maslow called that was self-actualization. That is at the top of the pyramid. Most of us don't ever see this in our lifetime, not because it's not possible, but simply because we don't put our attention there. What happens is we're focused on the basic core foundational pieces, which are important, but they're also survival-based needs, okay? So these are what we will call our survival needs, okay? Survival needs is like food, water, shelter, even sex to reproduce, right? These are our basic survival needs, okay? Once we have our survival needs met, then we're able to kind of, mature in our needs. And once we are able to mature in our needs and we know that we have water and food and we're able to reproduce and do all the things to evolve as people, then we actually move into our safety and security needs. Okay, this is where a lot of us get stuck, right in this zone. Our safety and security needs look like a house over our head, looks like a 9-to-5 job, it looks like the paycheck, it looks like all of the things that make us feel safe and secure, which could even look like routines, it could look a lot like our habits, it could be the compartmentalization of our world that fits in this box, and this is where we stay for our need for comfortability, for our need for safety and security. All warranted. We all need these things, but when they become the focal point of our life, it's no wonder we're not evolving and growing beyond this, okay? This is what I'm going to call feed the fear. When we only focus on just these things, just the 9-to-5, just paying bills, just making sure that we are safe and secure and stable, just covering our basic survival needs, we're feeding the fear. It's warranted, it's justifiable, it's something that we need to pay attention to, but when we give our life to these things, when we're paying too much attention to them, we can't evolve into greater beings, okay? Once we are able to look above that, where we start to develop in is a place of love and belonging. This is community. These are friendships. This is deep connection with people. Again, very important, right? But how many of us know that if we just start focusing on love and belonging, making sure that everybody likes us, making sure that we're not ruffling feathers, making sure that we're keeping the peace around us, how many of us know that it almost feels like we're starting a war within us? Right? That's why you can walk into a room, know 100 people in the room, and feel lonelier in that room than when you were by yourself. It's why you can have thousands of friends on Facebook and tons of likes on Instagram and it do nothing for you. Why? Because there's also a level of once you have your core love and belonging needs met, you don't need more to feel happier, right? Right? Because really sometimes what starts to happen is now we're doing it for the approval. Now I'm feeding my need for approval. I'm feeding my need for acceptance, right? And when you are my friend and when you like a photo on Instagram or when you share something that I post on Facebook or when the world knows my name, it feels good for a minute, but when I start to give my attention there too much, I feel unfulfilled. I feel underwhelmed. I feel lonely and depressed and disconnected. Why? Because I'm feeding my need for approval. Okay. And then if we're not careful, we do that and then we shift up into the next level, which again, these are all good at a baseline until we start putting too much of our attention there, right? So what he then says in his hierarchy is that once we have space to feel loved and belong, then we can reach higher levels of success and accomplishment. Again, something that we all need is growth. Growth in our success, growth in our accomplishments, like being able to do more, to accomplish more, to see more, to expand our capacity, all part of the growing and evolving as humans. But the problem for a lot of us is that we start to think that the more successful we are, the happier we will be. The more successful we are, the more loved we will be. The more successful we are, then the more accepted we will be. And all this does is feed into our need of feeding the need for approval. Now my attention is so focused on everyone around me that I've lost my focus on the thing within me. So now when I sit here with you, Julia, and you tell me to dream, I don't even know where I would start because I'm so focused on everyone and anything around me. I'm so focused on my to-do list. I'm so focused on the business. I'm so focused on all the things that I've lost sight of the thing. This is why it is so important to understand what your dream is all about. Because your dream, the thing at the very top of this, right, is where you get to feed the mission. The point of life is to understand and to clarify the thing that God has put on the inside of you. It's to understand your core potential on this planet is to shine. It is to grow. It is to bring about the thing that you were born to bring about. That's the mission. That's the reason. That's the vision. That's the dream that's on the inside of you. That is actualization at its finest, right? That is the mission. That is the point, period. End of the story. Could be end of the video, right? But what happens is we're never focused on this enough because we're so focused on our need for approval, or we're so focused on just feeding the fear, the bare survival metrics in this life, that I'm never able to actually start putting my attention on the thing. And it's the thing that will change all other things. That's why the Bible says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all other things will be added to you. Right? Well, we go, yeah, but you know what? I'm not making enough money, and I don't have a job that I like, and I don't even have that good of relationships, and I'm not connected there. So what, you want me to put my attention where? On something higher. Well, but Julia, you don't understand my past. You don't understand the mistakes that I've made. I don't have any money in the bank, and you want me to put my attention where? Higher. Well, but yeah, Julia, I have failed a million times and my butt is getting kicked in this COVID and I don't know that my business is going to be doing very well. And you want me to put my attention where? On higher things. I want you to put your attention on the point, which is the mission, which is your dream realized. This is the point, my friends. Yes, I know that the world around you says one thing. I know that your past says one thing. I know that your fear says one thing. I know that it says one thing. I know that your need for approval says one thing. But what I'm wondering is, what do your dreams say? What is the vision that God's put on the inside of you say? What does the word of God say? What do all those things say? Most of us are like, well, I don't know what they say. Yes, you do. Go back to the past videos and get quiet if you have to. Go back and fan the flame of faith if you have to. Go back and watch this series of videos day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, so you can find the answer. Because here's the reality. If you don't know that answer today, you don't know what your dreams are, you don't know what the vision for your life is, then you have the rest of your life to figure out what that is and to live in light of that dream. The rest of your life is dependent upon you taking the time each day to figure out what is the thing, the dream, the thing that you've been running from or avoiding or are scared of, or you just don't want to talk about, or whatever it is. That's where we need to be putting our attention, because the rest of your life is dependent upon you feeding the mission. It's dependent upon you looking up. It's dependent upon you looking higher. That's what it's dependent upon. In Proverbs, I love this. It's Proverbs 2. And at the top of the title of this chapter, it says, searching for wisdom. It says, wisdom is a gift from God, and every word he speaks is full of revelation and becomes a fountain of understanding within you. For the Lord has hidden storehouses of wisdom made accessible to his godly lovers. He becomes your personal bodyguard as you follow his ways, protecting and guarding you as you choose what is right. As you choose what is right, as you set your mind and your heart on things that are higher, all other things will be added to you. It says, when wisdom wins your heart and revelation breaks in, true pleasure enters your soul. If you are deflated, depleted, depressed, unmotivated, underwhelmed, anxious, or stressed out, this is why. Because we're lacking in wisdom, winning our hearts and our revelation. Well, how do we do that? Then we put our attention on something higher. You start to live in light of your dreams. The magic is in the work you're avoiding. I say that in chapter 12, the final chapter of my book, right, is helping you take action. So your next step in this today is to take action in light of your dreams. It's just the next step. Because what you're wanting, the magic, the juiciness, right, the wisdom and the revelation and the true pleasure that could enter your soul is waiting for you in the work that you're avoiding. It's in the process of the manifestation of your dreams. And here's what I would like to challenge you with. The fear and the need for approval and all of these things down here, right, like your core basic survival needs, and that love and belonging, and that safety and security and stability, and those metrics of success and accomplishment, all of those things will be added to you when you are faithful with following the dream that's on the inside of you. Because here's what I have found to be true. When I just am willing to chase my dreams and to follow the thing that God's asked me to do, it's amazing how everything else comes together. Not always in the way that I think, not always in the way that my linear brain or the to-do list part of me lines up, but in the way that it's supposed to actually blow my mind so that I can lead with my heart. Challenge me in this week. I want you to put your attention on something higher. I want your heart to be so captivated by your dream, by the thing, that all other things could actually be added to you if you just put your attention on your dream. I don't care what your fear says. I want to know what faith says. I don't care what your reality says. I want to know what your dream says. I don't care what your past says. I want to know what your future says. I don't care what the doubt says. I want to know what your dreams say. That is where I want you to put your attention this week, because wherever you put your attention, your dreams, is going to have your life. And so now it's not about life stopping you from living your dreams. It's about living your life in light of them. I'll say it again. This is not about life getting in the way of you not living your dreams. This is about you living your life in light of your dreams. That is my challenge. That is my lesson. And that is what I want to see you move towards this week, is a life where you throw yourself at your dreams. And don't forget, in just a couple of weeks, you guys, this book will be in your hands. So go to thedreamfactoryandco.com right now and sign up to be a part of the launch of this baby. If you want to follow your dreams, and 2021 is a year that you are committed and want to be intentional about living and following and chasing your dreams, sign up. Or simply text DREAM NOW, one word, all capital letters, to 22999. And of course, do not forget to share this with one person who you know needs to hear this. Click the like and the subscribe, all the things, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week for another lesson.